Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Sheriff Joe Arpaio is fighting plans for a court-appointed monitor to ensure that the MCSO stops racial profiling of Latinos. We could see a shortage of Colorado River water by 2016. We'll talk about the impact of the valley's water supply, and we'll hear about a plan to reduce the Phoenix area's ever-increasing nighttime temperatures. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio is resisting the idea of a monitor to oversee his department and ensure that the MCSO stops engaging in racial profiling. Here to update efforts to resolve the issue is J.J. Hensley, who covers the Sheriff's Office for the Arizona Republic. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. First of all, let's set the parameters here, because I think a lot of folks are still a little confused. A joint agreement on a court ruling involving the ACLU.
Yeah, the judge ordered them to kind of take a break and negotiate, which is what they've been doing for the last 6-8 weeks. These are pretty common in these types of lawsuits when they're trying to resolve them. And so the point of it is, you high-priced lawyers go off, do your thing, try to resolve as many of these issues as possible, and bring whatever you can't back to me, and I'll make a decision if need be.
And one of those issues, really the biggie, because we know how the sheriff feels about this court-appointed monitor. What are we talking about here?
I mean, at some point, it's become quite obvious that one's going to be appointed. So I think anyone looking at this might well say that the sheriff is simply kind of dragging his feet in his resistance on this. It's inevitable that we're going to have one. The real question is going to come in kind of what powers that monitor is going to have and how the judge ultimately is going to have to tailor that monitor's powers so they're not overriding the sheriff's constitutional powers.
Indeed. And is the sheriff's office right now, the attorneys for the sheriff's, are they basically saying we're more concerned about the powers, or are they still saying there should be no court-appointed monitor?
Well, I mean, they're adamant that they do not want a court-appointed monitor, but they understand, I think, that there's going to be one. And so the real discussion is what kind of powers is that monitor going to have, and is he going to be able to tell Arpaio, no, you can't do this, yes, you can do that? Because I think the ACLU, they would like that monitor to have kind of to be able to kind of preempt operations before they happen. The sheriff's office doesn't see that as being appropriate at all.
And just to be clear, the joint agreement, the sheriff's office did agree to this, did they not? Didn't they agree to the court? They didn't like it, but they agreed to. Now, what are they arguing about?
I mean, that's part of the verdict. The ruling in the ACLU's favor from Judge Snow. So yeah, they agreed to negotiate in good faith, and both sides say that that's what's been going on for the last 6-8 weeks, and they really came down to these kind of 11 core issues that they just could not come to agreement on. Some of them, it's the devil's in the details. Mm-hmm. Some of it, it's really kind of broad. We will never agree to this, is what the sheriff's office
Let's talk to some of the other disagreements then. We already mentioned the court-appointed monitor. Racial profiling training for deputies, problem there?
I think that one's more of a detail-oriented issue. How much training are they going to have in person? How much is going to be online? How frequent is that training going to be through the course of the year? And the sheriff's office is saying, look, these guys are already in training, mandated training from AZ Post, X amount of hours a year. If we keep adding to that, it's going to be hard for them to actually be out on patrol. So but that's really a kind of a detail-oriented issue. I think some of the others that are more significant are like the role of community involvement in this, or the ACLU wants to kind of overhaul or have some oversight, at least, of the sheriff's internal discipline system. And those issues, according to the sheriff's office, are beyond the scope of this court ruling.
I was going to say that the ACLU wants internal investigation changes. They want the monitor to look. I mean, internal investigations, that's pretty deep involvement there.
Mm-hmm. And the ACLU's point is, if you remember back to last summer with that trial, it was really tightly managed. Each side only had 20 hours to present their case in chief. And so each side kind of had to tailor its witnesses accordingly. The ACLU couldn't put up a lot of people who had tried to make complaints and had them go nowhere. But that's their point, that even those few witnesses they were able to put up, when they talked about the complaint process, they tried to make complaints about deputies profiling them, and they said that those complaints went nowhere. So clearly, in the ACLU's mind, there's a need for some overhaul in that system.
And that's one of the ones where the Sheriff's Department is basically saying no way, no how.
Hands off.
Yeah.
This is not part of the litigation.
You mentioned community input on the resolution and on getting this thing figured out. Community input, what does that mean? How would it work?
There's a few different versions, but anyone who's been around for a while might be familiar with the DPS's settlement with racial profiling there. And that created the Citizen Advisory Board that Napolitano signed back in, gosh, 06, 04, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And that still exists today, and that's kind of one of the things the ACLU is asking for here. A lot of what they proposed, you'll see in other agreements in other cities around the country where there have been profiling issues, and that community involvement is a big piece of that. In New Orleans, the community got to weigh in on who the monitor would be.
Well, I can already see Sheriff Joe Arpaio, he doesn't want a court-appointed monitor. A bunch of citizens groups getting together in a group and saying, here's what you got. I don't see him going for that at all.
Yeah, and I mean, his attorney, you know, this might be prescient, but he said if that happens, we're afraid that that's going to turn into a political body intent on removing Arpaio from office.
Right. Okay. So with these things, there have been some agreements, though.
There have. I mean, shoot, the agreement that they filed was 78 pages long, and it had 11 disputed points and dozens of others where they could come to some agreement. Now, kind of the next steps for this.
Yes.
This Friday, they're going to have to file arguments with Judge Snow, and he's going to review those over their disputed points, and then there's going to be that hearing on the 30th. So we have about another 10 days to go.
And Judge Snow, we should mention, especially circling back here on the monitor, he was very big on the monitor. That's a done deal. It's just the details.
Yeah, and I mean, anyone who's looked at any of these agreements all across the country, a monitor is always step one in there.
Yeah.
I mean, because how else in the ACLU's mind they say, what, are we just going to trust you, Arpaio, that you're going to change things? No, we need to have someone in there to help us ensure that this change is happening.
And yet the sheriff's attorney, I think the quote that you had in your story was, the sheriff recognizes that he needs to comply and that he must comply. Is that showing up here, or is it still more dragging of the feet?
No, I mean, if you look at that bulk of that agreement and the issues that they have agreed on, if you take a fair look at it, I think you could say that, yes, there are a lot of these issues where he has shown some willingness to change operations, training, et cetera, to get more toward this agreement. I mean, one of the other disputes is how long is it going to last, 3 years or 5 years? ACLU wants 5 years, MCSO wants 3 years.
Interesting.
And we've had this issue before with conditions in the jails, and Judge Wake riding herd over a 25-year consent decree.
Right.
So I mean, it could go on for decades.
All right, so we've got the deal on Friday, then another hearing coming up. We could have kind of a final thing here when?
I think coming out of that hearing on the 30th, we're going to know a lot more about what Snow is going to have to kind of decide. What are the core issues that are going to be up to him? He could come out of that hearing on the 30th and say, this is what I've ordered, this is what I've decreed. So, I mean, it's a good chance that things could start moving from that point. All
right. But before you leave, real quickly, Randy Parrott's the civil rights suit is adios. Do we know what's going on there? I know that just happened this afternoon.
Yeah, Sheriff's Office said that Peraz dropped it abruptly. The jury was seated. It was going to be in federal court. It was for his arrest he was suing civil rights violations, alleging civil rights violations from his arrest in 2008 at a Board of Supervisors meeting when there was a protest and he ended up getting arrested. Suit's dropped with prejudice, so it's not coming back.
And is Randy Parrott's coming back? I haven't seen him around in a while.
I have not been able to contact him. I've heard reports that he's doing some work with politicians out of state.
Interesting. All right. Great stuff, JJ. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
want to hear from you. Submit your questions, comments, and concerns via email at arizonahorizon@asu.edu. Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
The worst drought in a century could lead to lower releases of Colorado River water by 2016. What does that mean for the state's residential and agricultural water needs? We ask Sandra Fabritz-Whitney, Director of the Arizona Department of Water Resources, and David Modier, General Manager of the Central Arizona Project. Good to see you both again. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here. Thank you.
What are the water levels right now at Lake Powell?
Lake Powell is just about a few feet, or about 30 feet below or above the trigger level that would require the Bureau of Reclamation to lower the release. It's really based on the anticipated levels later in the year, and so based on those levels, the water level elevation is 3575 is sort of the key trigger.
Yeah.
And based on that, it determines how much water you're going to release out of Lake Powell to Lake Mead.
So how much water, just a general overview here, if it's, 45 some odd % full right now? Something along those lines? What kind of water releases are we talking about?
Well, normally, under the normal criteria, it's 8.23 million acre-foot is released out of Powell down to Lake Mead, unless there's flood levels or unless we're going into what Sandy just talked about, and they'll reduce it. The projected is that about 7.48 million acre-foot will be released this next water year because of the shortage of inflows into Lake Powell.
And this would be, I've read, the lowest releases since the lake was first filled?
Correct.
That's got to be a concern.
Of course it's a concern, but it's also something that we've been planning for many years. The state of Arizona and the other basin states, the Colorado River Basin states, have different, obviously we all have different approaches in how we manage our water supplies, but we also have been working within our state, working with our partners at CAP and at Salt River Project and our water users across the state in preparing for these lower releases.
What would the impact be to cities and towns? What would that?
Well, the interesting thing is this first 7.48 reduction, or reduction to 7.48, really doesn't trigger a shortage. The Lake Mead elevation is also part of this operational structure on the river, and that operational structure, when Lake Mead hits an elevation of 1075, is when the states, the lower basin states, and Mexico, start having to reduce their water use.
When the reductions coming out of Lake Powell into Lake Mead and so forth, when these happen, is there a priority? Is there a list of folks who are affected first, second, third?
Well, there's two levels to this issue. One of them is what's the priority between the three lower basin states? And due to Arizona's junior priority, the Central Arizona Project takes the brunt of any shortage when it's declared. Within the state of Arizona, Arizona Department of Water Resources and all the stakeholders in CAP have reached agreement about the priorities of who gets reduced first. And the first stage really comes out of the excess water supplies, and buried within that is non-Indian agriculture, although we realize the importance of ag to Arizona and to Arizona's water policy, that we'll be working with all the stakeholders and with Sandy and her department to try to find unique ways to make sure that no particular entity gets hurt overly in this first era of shortage.
So agriculture would be first on the list. What about urban areas, cities and towns?
Well, they have the highest priority of CAP water, so
Okay.
they will be the last impacted, and likely would not happen till near the tail end of a third stage of a shortage, when they would be impacted and to a smaller degree. But as Sandy said, we've done a lot of planning. We have a lot of water stored in the ground in order to anticipate that this was going to happen. This all goes back to the compromises made to construct CAP. We had to agree to be the junior priority user of water, and because of that, we've been planning as a state as our congressional delegation and all have been working with us and the federal government and Sandy's department over the years, we've been doing many, many things knowing that someday we were going to experience a shortage and we would take the brunt of it.
What about power production, Glenn Cann? I mean, as far as, that has to be a concern as well, or is it?
Well, I mean, we've heard many or seen many stories on that. It's all in how you manage and operate the reservoir, and especially Lake Powell. There are trigger levels, and I don't have those with me right now, but we're not near those trigger levels for power
production.
No.
I read where the Southern Nevada Water Authority, the chief, said that this is serious business. Federal disaster aid is needed. We've hit a crisis point. I'm not sensing crisis here. Is there what's going on?
Well, it goes back to how each state sort of responds to these things. We've had decades to respond, since the mid-'60s, actually, even going back that far when the Central Arizona Project was authorized, and then moving forward in time, the Groundwater Management Act. That act put in place mandatory water conservation for all water users. And many of those water users were already implementing those measures. But that required mandatory water reductions already, so more of an efficiency. Then you add on top of that the additional requirements for conserving groundwater through the 100-year assured water supply rules, and then the ability to augment those water supplies through underground storage and recovery, and through the water banking authority. So we've stored in this state over 8 million acre feet. Right now we have extra water stored in the aquifer to protect folks against shortage, in addition to preserving the groundwater supplies long term.
The plans that, and last question here, the plans that are in place, obviously there's confidence here at this desk that things will be okay, but we had a 100-year drought here, the worst 14-year period in the last 100 years. Are there plans if X turns into X squared?
I think we are developing plans, is what I'd say right now. The concerns of Southern Nevada in all are different than ours. Their circumstances are a bit different. They really don't have agriculture that offsets things, or they places to store a lot of water in that. So if the drought continues and we get down to much lower levels, it's a real concern for all of us. And as a result of that, we are working together, the three lower basin states, very cooperatively, along with the upper basin, because there's a role for the upper basin to play in managing this drought. So we hope will come up, and I believe we will. We've shown that capacity to work together, come up with some compromises to fend off this drought for a period of time. No one knows how long it's going to last or how deep it's going to get.
All right. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Buildings, roads, parking lots, and other man-made structures have caused nighttime temperatures in the valley to increase dramatically. Mick Dalrymple is ASU's Energize Phoenix project manager, and he has a plan to reduce those nighttime temperatures. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now the plan is called 1 degree.
Yes, 1 degree, just to keep it simple. I mean, it's a very easy idea, very complicated to undertake, but actually very easy to conceptualize, that over a period of 5 years, through a series of actions, we would reduce the overnight low temperature in downtown Phoenix by 1 degree.
Okay, what would those series of actions entail?
They would involve a lot of community action, changes in city policies, changes in city operations. But basically, the three things that you want to do to try and reduce urban heat island is first, keep the sun off of hot surfaces. So, put up shade structures. They can be solar shade structures, they can be trees, they can just be canopies, or just any kind of shade structure that you might put on buildings or over streets or over parking areas. And then the second thing is if you can't shade it, if you can't keep the sun off of it, then try and have your surface be more reflective so that it sends that heat back instead of absorbing it. And then finally, if you can't do that, then you want to try and use materials that hold less heat. They shed heat faster. So we call it emissivity, but basically, using things like permeable concrete or rubberized asphalt instead of asphalt. Because it has more surface area, it's rubberized, so it doesn't absorb as much heat and it doesn't hold on to it. And things like concrete tiles on roofs, they don't make any sense. I mean, it's the roof that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Just 3, 4, 5 hours after sunset, it's still heating up your house.
And that, when we talk about the urban heat island, without getting too detailed here, that is the problem. During the daylight, with the sun beaten down, it absorbs the heat, and then when the sun goes away, you go outside some nights, and it seems like it was cooler when the sun was setting than it is 2 hours later.
Yeah, isn't it? It's amazing. And going into a parking lot after sunset, and you just feel this heat just coming up toward you. And we have a tremendous amount of parking lots and streets in Phoenix. I mean, we're a low-density place. So, you could do amazing things just by, in the regular re-chip or chip seal process where a street is recoated, if the city were to just increase the reflectivity of that coating by 10%, then over a period of 5 years, you could essentially, decrease the amount of heat absorbed tremendously in the city.
So how do you go from a plan to achievement?
It's really about partnerships, and Energize Phoenix has taught us a lot about partnerships. That was a project that was a partnership between APS, the City of Phoenix, and ASU. But you need those partnerships. So it's basically the city needs to take the lead. So city leaders, city managers need to come together from multiple departments. There's streets involved, there's parks and recreation, there's public works, water's involved, the energy manager's involved. There's a lot of people involved. And then you need to get the community groups on board as well. And I think that's the beauty of 1 degree, is it's just a really easy concept to sell. Everybody can kind of get behind that. And the benefits are huge. I mean, there's economic benefits, tourism benefits. You lengthen the convention season here. So we've actually calculated within the Energize Phoenix corridor that if you were to do this, you would decrease electricity bills just for Energize Phoenix corridor businesses and residents by $2.1 million a year.
Mike, and the health benefits as well. I mean, that has to be factored in there too.
Yeah, ASU has actually done a tremendous amount of research on urban heat island, and some of it is related to the inequity of the heat island impacts. The elderly, the sick, the homeless, poor people, they have less tools to deal with urban heat islands, so they suffer more, and there's more hospital visits as well.
I was interested in reading about this. Sacramento, 50% of parking lots in Sacramento must be shaded by trees. I mean, New York and Chicago have programs, variety levels of green, but the fact is some municipalities are tackling this sort of thing.
They are. And what's amazing is Phoenix is actually, for a variety of reasons, historically is the most studied city regarding urban heat islands. So we know more here, or from the city of Phoenix, than a lot of these places do. And they're taking some proactive approaches. And we've got some things here. I mean, common sense. People with businesses tend to put on cool roofs. So we already kind of do that. It wouldn't be much of a stretch to say, okay, if you're going to redo your roof, you got to do it as a cool roof. But there are a lot of things that we can do, and this is the huge. I mean, this is the laboratory right here.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can change things here, and that would be fantastic.
And with that in mind, real quickly here, last question: the psychological impact of just tackling the urban heat island, that's a factor too.
Yes. I'm actually going to be starting to work for the Robin Melanie Walton Sustainability Solutions Initiatives over at ASU and the Global Institute of Sustainability. And that's some of the things that we're trying to do, is take that science and apply it to solve problems, solve real problems. So we're going to be looking at things like this.
All right, well, it's fascinating. If you can get even just 1 degree, That's somewhere. That's something.
Yes, yes. It's a psychological boost that we could do something about climate change as well.
All right. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Wednesday on Arizona Horizon, Congressman Paul Gosar discusses immigration reform and other congressional issues, and we'll hear from an immigration attorney on recent raids at a local chain of car washes. That's at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.